Seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best, when I've sailed through a storm instead of stopping to rest. And it always seems the hardest when I've made up my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight into the wind? He doesn't pick a fight, he spreads his wings and just gives in. And in the end he always makes it home just fine. I guess he knows that every storm subsides. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I'll let nature take its course. No more thinking that I know where this river's meant to go. I have railed against the stars for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I've never won, for the heartache that I've felt. But it always seems when I let go of expectation and regret, life has plenty of surprises for me, yeah. I wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Wanna be like water coming down a mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I've been planting seeds on the ground, watering them with my sweat and tears, scattering them all around. Guess it's what I'm supposed to do with my years. Funny thing is, I may know what I've planted, but never what will show. It always seems to be a perfect mystery. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail. What's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing more. Sometimes I still like to pretend I know what the harvest will be, but I always find out in the end it was never really up to me. Funny thing is, when I just do my work and simply trust, always seems that life is looking out for me. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail. What's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing more. I am only one of billions of seeds. When all is said and done, I just do what's mine to do and let it be. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, planting seeds. I am planting seeds, nothing more. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul.
Thank you. So grateful to my mile-high home, my home away from home, for the way that you've held me for this last week. I just laid my brother to rest on Tuesday. He passed 9 days ago. And I couldn't have found a better place to come and just be held. So thank you. I'm grateful for the healing that's been going on. There's a healing going on. There's a healing going on. Yeah, yeah. Let me walk to the banks of the river of love, where the current runs deep, baptized in the one, where there's no separation and the light is always seen. Honoring all our differences, and love will set us free. Oh, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I say, oh, you rock my soul. I say, oh, you rock my soul. I see the blessings of the past. It's time to re-qualify. Let not forget, but learn to forget. God knows that we gotta try. It's my responsibility to heal the wounds in me. Compassion, faith, and hope, and love, and truth will set us free. Oh, yeah, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. There's a healing. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. There's a healing. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I say, oh, you rock my soul. I say, oh, you rock my soul. Oh, Lord, I said, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I say, oh, you rock my soul. I say, oh, you rock my soul. Oh, Lord, I said, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I say, oh, you rock my soul. Oh, Lord, I said, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. Oh, Lord, I say, oh, you rock my soul. Oh, oh, I say, oh, you rock my soul. Oh, oh, I say, oh, you rock my
May I ever use my hands for lifting up. May I ever use my voice for speaking truth. May I consecrate each day and live with joy and wonder. May I sow in peace as all the wild things do. I will ever use my voice for lifting up. This voice was made for peace. I will ever use my eyes for seeking truth. These eyes were made for truth. I will consecrate each day and love with joy and wonder. I will sow in peace as all the wild things do. There is peace on I will reap in peace as all the wild things do. Wild and precious, we are wild and precious. Life is wild and precious.
Good morning, everyone.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient, and I didn't know was at hand. But now I can say you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day. You've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I really did not let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife.
right in the middle of the song, Susie texted and said, Doug, will you sign the song? So I jumped in and signed the song. Okay. Good morning, everyone. And what a morning it has been. I got in the studio this morning and found out that my entire service that I put together Thursday, Friday, Saturday was gone. All my slides, all my videos, all my overlays, all my everything gone. So I jumped right in and put it all back together. And I hope that it's all back together, because we're going to find out if it's all back together or not. But I welcome you all back, and it's great to see you here. And Cheryl says, good morning, friends. That was beautiful, Doug. Thank you, Cheryl. And Lindsay says that was beautiful. Let's do some treatment here. I'm going to go ahead and put on some... good morning from Lindsay, Janelle, and Jaden in Bellflower. Good morning. I'm going to put on some treatment music here. Let's go ahead and... there it is. Donna Michael on the... Charles says, great work in recovering. We'll see, Charles. We'll see how well I did. So, it was pretty intense. So, I noticed that I forgot to turn the air conditioning off, so it may come back on. I may have to jump out and do that. So, I invite everybody to take a breath. Take a breath with me. And as you do that, let's just sit back into the conscious knowing that we are all divine. There is one life. It is God. It is my life. It is your life. It is perfect and unfolding perfectly for each of us in this moment. And whatever is happening is part of our highest good, whether we can see that or not. In any existing or given moment, whether we know that or not, that is the truth. Our life is unfolding for and as God. For our highest good and as our highest good in every moment. And so today I simply bless this time that we spend together. I bless our service, our fellowship, our love for each other. And I know that all is well. And so in great gratitude, I release this word, into the action of that lovingly impersonal, mechanically accurate law we know is cause and effect, knowing that what we think and what we believe does impact and impress itself upon that law, and our experiences are made manifest right there in that marriage of seed and soil. So knowing that all is well, I let it be and I let it go, as together we say, and so it is, and so it is. Yes. So there has been a lot of work going on in mind around around our movement this week. I finished up my part of the book study. Lori's asking, did that just happen that Jamie's brother passed? No. In the video, that video was shot several years ago. Jamie's brother passed quite a while ago. Like 4 years ago. So, there's the air conditioning going on. I'll turn it off during the Ho'oponopono meditation. But there's been so much work going on. Well, let's go to our Ho'oponopono meditation right now, and then I'll turn off the air conditioning. Remember our Ho'opono work in forgiveness. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Let's go ahead and go directly into that meditation right now. And here we go.
I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. mahalo, I love you. Aloha, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Mahalo, I love you. Aloha, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry, so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I'm
So I was saying that there's been an awful lot of good work going on in our movement. I just finished doing my part of the Me and White Supremacy book study by Lila F. Saad, and I just signed up for a 10-week class for ministers that is being sponsored by and taught by Wendy Craig Purcell at Unity of San Diego for New Thought ministers, virtual white allies, deep dive into this work. I know several of you have already been in your Me and White Supremacy book study classes this week, the practitioners and several of our members. I know a couple people had a little bit of trouble with their registration, but seemingly that's all handled and taken care of now. So I'm very, very happy to hear that that this work is going forward. And we're talking about inclusivity all this month, and we're talking about who we are today. Let's go right to our promises. These are Dr. Holmes's promises. And let's start off here. I keep the promise that I have made myself to affirm in this moment that I am abundant, healthy, strong, and happy. I keep the intention to daily speak this truth to my inner soul, telling it that it is wonderful and marvelous, that it is one with the great cause of life, truth, power, and action. I whisper these things into my soul until it breaks forth into songs of joy with the realization of its limitless possibilities. I assure my soul. I assure my soul. Let's go ahead and sing together my song, I Remember Who I Am. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. 'Cause we are life, we are light, we are love. We are joy, we are peace, we are wisdom and beautiful harmony. We are pure spirit. Okay, from the top. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. Yes, who we are. His pure spirit. One last time. Yes, who we are. His pure spirit. couldn't hear you, but I could feel you. I couldn't hear you, but I could feel you. Elizabeth says, nope. I guess that means, Elizabeth, they still haven't fixed your registration yet. All right. Well, we'll get back on that as soon as we can. Okay, let's go to our community affirmation and let's say this together. I believe in one power, one living spirit, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. I believe that spirit expresses through me and is the unity of all life. I believe that the kingdom of heaven is within and that we experience this kingdom to the degree that we become conscious of it. I believe that all thought is creative and that how I choose to think creates my personal experience. I believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. And I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. So I want to remind you all that the work that we're doing this month is just part of our global vision. It's so fascinating that the global vision themes are set up like a year in advance, and how there's one mind in the world, and how, you know, what we need to teach and what we need to be hearing is so intrinsically, synchronistically connected to what seems to be going on in the world. Here at the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living, we're part of a much larger organization, Centers for Spiritual Living, which is an open and affirming community and has been since 1927. And we are radically inclusive here at the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living. We are a radically inclusive and mindfully non-racist spiritual community. All are lovingly welcomed here. And Lori, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Our practitioner today from the center is Lori. Are you there, Lori?
Yep, I'm here.
Hi, there you are. I see you, and you're sitting in the choir loft, just kind of right back over there, over my shoulder. if I was really there, which you really are. And who's at the center with you today?
You're always here. Oh, Judy and Frank, of course.
Judy and Frank. Okay. So you have the affirmation and the flames of faith, so I will let you get right to it. Start off with the affirmation. Here we go.
Okay, so I'll read the affirmation and then you'll follow along with me 2 more times. Today, I bravely work to heal my bias and embrace the love of all human beings. Join with me. Today, I bravely work to heal my bias and embrace the love of all human beings. 1 more time. Today, I bravely work to heal my bias and embrace the love of all human beings. And now we'll perform the flames of faith. We performed this ceremony on Sunday to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The unity candle represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the 4 noble truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the 8th candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the 9th candle, honoring all forms of new thought, the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal principle. We light the 10th candle for inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome here. And as we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light names of loved ones, knowing that they have the experience of Spirit's eternal love. And now I invite you to close your eyes and simply move within, knowing that there is only this one life. And I speak this word now in the first person so that you may embody it as your very own. I am that I am. This word of I am is powerful. This is pure Spirit speaking through me in this very moment. I am pure and perfect love. I am the light and life of Spirit dwelling within me. I am peace and joy and great happiness as I remember this power within. And I am forever grateful, forever thankful, and I am blessed in this moment, remembering the truth that sets me free. And as I know this is the truth for everyone, everywhere. This is the absolute and forever beingness that we are. And in this knowing, I simply release. I let go. I know that I have nothing to worry about. I turn everything over to the power of Spirit. And when I do so, all is well. And join me in saying together, and so it is.
Thank you, Lori. That was beautifully said and beautifully done. Yes. Okay, well.
Love you.
I love you too. Have a good rest of your service, and I will see you after. Okay. All right, so next week we have a guest. Amy Steinberg is going to come in and do music, and the week after that, you guys may remember when Levi Christ was visiting us in person. Well, he'll be visiting us the week after that from his home in Knoxville, Tennessee. But this morning we have a debut, or I've been watching a lot of Australian TV during this time, and they say debut. It's funny to me, but they say debut. So we have a debut of a new music video from Elizabeth Partaker. And so sit back and enjoy this beautiful new video. Here we go.
I gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet, to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams, when all your hopes are sinking. Let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart could understand, that love and only love can join the tribes of love. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize it all begins with you and me. Love can together. It's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything, if we're believing in the power. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Yes, I do. Love can build a bridge. Heart and mind. Love and only love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? It's time. Love can build a bridge. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? It's time. Love can build a bridge. Love can build a bridge.
I know a lot of work went into that, so thank you so much, Elizabeth. Charles Smith texted from Julie. Thank you, Elizabeth. Beautifully sung and illustrated. Yes. Don't you think it's time? I do. For love to build a bridge? Absolutely. I was reading a bunch of the Dalai Lama this week. You know, we have a Dalai Lama coffee table book, and I just open it up at a random spot every once in a while. And this week I read this. The Dalai Lama said, "Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive." Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. And of course, our master teacher Jesus taught in John 13:34, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another." And this whole month we're talking about inclusion in action. Inclusion in action. And this second week of August, our topic is, who are we? And our discussion today includes some ideas like there's value in getting clear about our individual and collective identities and what we all bring to the table. Standing in our power and celebrating the identities of others is a gift. It also helps us foster inclusion. Excuse me while I blow my nose. You know, for each of us, taking some time to be conscious of the truth of our own divinity. You know, it's like when I am out walking Xander in the morning and up here in the hills above the neighborhood that we live in, man, it just strikes me as the sun is coming up and as the sky is lightening and, you know, as people are out, you know, the consciousness, the truth, I literally go, there's God, that's God, that's God. And, you know, it really helps me. The divinity of all people and that God lives within each of us and that we all live within God. And I recognize, and especially since what I've been learning from my classes, is that this helps foster inclusion. You know, our Science of Mind teaching tells us that we're each individualizations of the divine. And that means that we're unique, but we're also at the same time unified with each other. We all have our own identities. We all have our own preferences, our own ideas. And in addition to those unique aspects of our lives, we also have a shared experience. It's called being alive. We're sharing this experience with each other. And in our Science of Mind teaching, there's an explicit invitation for each of us to get clear about who we really are as individuals. It's not implied in any way. It's an explicit part of the teaching for each of us to learn and understand who we really are as individuals, individualizations of the one mind, of spirit. And, you know, for each of us, we are God's gift to each other and to the universe and to our planet. And I think it's really incumbent upon each of us to take some time and ask ourselves, what are my gifts? What are your gifts? What are your talents? What have your experiences contributed to the one life that we're all living together on planet Earth? This is part of our spiritual practice, to recognize that each of us is an integral part of the one life, one love, one solution. Because when you and I can get truly clear on who we are, and that is the children of spirit, and what gifts that we, each of us, can bring to the table of life, that allows us to embrace how others show up as their own unique individualizations of the divine. When we really can understand that each of us is bringing gifts and honor our own gifts, that puts in mind the picture of honoring the gifts of others. And when we begin to be clear about the divine truth of each individualized life, then not only can we appreciate how others show up in the way that they do, but then we can understand our own divine identity, and that allows us to embrace, you know, what is different and unique about each of us, and to experience the divine more deeply and fully in ourselves and in others. And I know, and even though it seems completely obvious to me, in an apples and oranges kind of way, you know, why do some people not accept those who are different? Is it just fear? Is it just hatred? Is it, you know, and then I ask myself too, why do I sometimes go unconscious and find myself not accepting a particular situation or someone who's different? Because it happens. I go unconscious. Maybe most importantly, where do I reject the obvious diversity that the universe has created for me to experience in my own life? You know, when you... Lori is really good about taking pictures of the beautiful desert flowers and sending them, you know, posting them on Facebook and sending them out to us. When I look at all that multiplicity, I'm just so touched by it. Why is it that we might not be touched by the multiplicity of humanity? We've talked about, you know, there's only a few teeny tiny parts of our chromosomal makeup in our DNA that makes us different from each other in terms of, you know, skin, hair, voice. But really, you know, 99.999999999% of who we are as human beings is identical and the same. You know, becoming aware of our biases, is an important part in the journey of our self-awareness. And the road of this journey can lead us to experience and manifest more wholeness. And so doing the work, the honest work into the self, is an important, necessary step in building spiritual practice of being aware of others, with the ultimate goal, I think, of embracing everyone as expressions of the one life. Because here on planet Earth, we are a multitude. I love this beautiful mural. We are a multitude. Each of us contains so many aspects of the one life. We're hard to pin down or capture by any one identifying label, even though people are quick to point a finger and say, you're white, you're black, you're Hispanic, you're gay, you're straight, you're cisgender, you're transgender, you're from Peru, you're German, you're Irish, you're Italian. But the truth of the matter is, if you look, we are constantly in motion. We as a humanity are constantly transforming, and each of us has literally millions of experiences over the course of our lifetime. And sometimes went the wrong way. Sometimes we recognize and acknowledge some pieces of our identity more prominently than other aspects of ourselves. Like, I do like to say, I'm a New Thought thinker. I'm a religious scientist. I get a payoff from my identification with our philosophy. I think it says something about me that I want people to recognize. I'm for people. I believe in the metaphysical nature of the universe. I also get a payoff recognizing that I'm Jewish. I get a payoff when I say my wife, because I recognize that it means that I'm married. Doesn't say anything about my marriage, although I think we have a good marriage, but I like that. So what is it that you identify yourself as? What is one way that you identify yourself that has a payoff for you that you enjoy? Maybe some of these things are how we were raised. I'm a Midwesterner. I'm a Southerner. I'm a Northerner. I'm a Red Sox fan. I can't get my sleeve up, and sometimes the way we identify as now with the Black Lives Matter movement may be because we faced a serious threat due to someone else's biases about who we are. Or maybe I know people whose entire lives have changed because of a medical condition, surviving cancer. I know people right in our community who have told me very amazing stories about how having had cancer and surviving cancer has informed a new way of thinking in their lives. It can be very valuable to look at these things and to begin to celebrate all of who we are and where we come from. I know that in my family, my Jewish family, I still have many members of my family who say never again. When they get together, they'll say never again. There's an annual now family reunion of the Lebos, the Leibowitzes, the LeBeaus. There's different parts of our family that pronounce the name differently and everything. But I know, people who talk about the whole Auschwitz thing, referring to what happened to 9/10 of our family during the Holocaust of World War II. 9/10 of our family, the 1/10 of our family that were already out of Europe, some in Israel and mostly in the United States, but the other 9/10 of our family that were living in Europe all ended up in a place like Auschwitz and then gone. I know we've all had some tough experiences in terms of what's been going on around us, and I think it's important for us to be gentle with ourselves. We absolutely should be gentle with ourselves when we discover parts of life that need healing from our unique journeys and our unique identities. And it's also, I think, immensely powerful for us to claim our identities and claim our gifts. The things that we do well. If you're a gardener, if you're a painter, if you're, I always love how Paula Garib took her dog and went to the hospital, and her dog was a service dog. I remember when my son Jesse was having his kidney surgery, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years ago, and a woman came into his hospital room with a service dog, and he was so missing our dog at home. And she put this beautiful border collie up on the bed, and who just snuggled with Jesse for about an hour. It was really healing you know? Each of us is God's beloved masterpiece. And we are all a blessing to this world and of this world. And as long as we've been saying, don't judge a book by its cover. This one says, don't judge me. And on the spine, it says, read me. We've all been saying, don't judge a book by its cover as long as we've had books. As long as we've had bookbinding, we've been saying, don't judge a book by its cover. But until we really begin to accept that, until we really know and act from the divinity of all, we may still rely on judging books by their covers and people by the color of their skin and people by their sexual orientation or their gender identification or any of the other things that make us unique and beautiful as God's beloved masterpiece. These things that are different about us are part of what is God's beloved masterpiece. Why? In what universe would God make some beings less than others? And who could think that? You know, I find it hard to understand. Howard Thurman was an American author and philosopher and theologian, educator, civil rights leader. He said, there is something in every one of you that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. It is the only true guide you will ever have. And if you cannot hear it, you will all of your life spend your days on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. If you cannot hear your own divinity, if you cannot hear your own uniqueness, you will all of your life spend your days on the ends of strings that someone else pulls. And I want to take this one step further and say, if we don't know who we are and who everyone else is too, individualizations of the divine, we will forever be at the end of a string that someone else is pulling. It's not just knowing that we, each of us, myself, is an individualization of the divine, but if I don't know who you are, and if I don't honor the uniqueness of who you are, I will forever be at the end of a string that someone else is pulling. And I don't think that that's a good thing. Jane Elliott, an American educator who I have so much respect for. Jane Elliott, she's still alive. She's an American diversity, inclusivity, and non-racism educator. And as a school teacher, she became known for her blue eyes, brown eyes exercise. She teaches that there's only one race, the human race, in race relations, the human race. She has a famous experiment that she's done all over the world, and she first conducted this famous experiment for her class of elementary school kids on April the 5th, 1968, the day after Martin Luther King was assassinated. And when her local newspaper published compositions that children had written about the experience, the reactions from people who read the story in the newspaper, both positive and negative, have formed the basis of her career as a teacher and public speaker against discrimination for the last 50 years. She's still teaching. She's still using her eye color exercise to this day. I'm going to play a clip from you of her doing this experience from the Oprah show many years ago, 1992. But first I need to warn you that the N-word is used once in this clip for emphasis. She uses it. I could have edited it out, but in respect for how it's used in the experiment, the context of it, and since I trust that you are all mature enough to hear the N-word in its original context as a teaching tool, I left it exactly how this original broadcast was in 1992. So please watch this with an open mind and an open heart. Here we go.
Today's audience was separated into two groups. Not on the color of their skin were they separated when they arrived. They were separated based on the color of their eyes. But they have no idea that they were separated. What we did was treat each group differently, discriminating against the people who have blue eyes. catering to those people with brown eyes.
Come on. What color your eyes? Blue? Over there. Put it on. No. Over there. Blue? Over there.
The blue-eyed people were pulled out of line, told to put on a green collar and wait outside. When the brown-eyed people arrived, they were told to step to the front of the line. Audience members with brown eyes were allowed to enjoy coffee and donuts. The blue-eyed group became upset when they saw the brown-eyed people were being seated first.
Well, now those people went in. What are they doing in there? That's what they don't say.
Diversity expert Jane Elliott helped set up the experiment.
I've been a teacher for 25 years in the public, private, and parochial schools in this country, and I have seen what brown-eyed people have done as compared to what blue-eyed people do. And it's perfectly obvious. And if I didn't believe it before this morning, you should have been here this morning when we brought these people in here.
Feeling discriminated against, the blue-eyed audience members were visibly upset.
She was rude to us, all of us. Yelled at us, called us names, pushed us aside. She was rude.
Just want to say, why doesn't Jane have a green collar on? She's got blue eyes.
Because I've learned to act brown-eyed. I have a brown-eyed husband and 3 brown-eyed children.
Why did you?
And the message in this room is, act brown-eyed and you too can take off your collar. Act intelligently and you too won't need your collar. None of you have acted intelligently yet.
It wasn't long before the brown-eyed people bought into the idea that they were superior.
You people, look, it is... People, I had a girlfriend in school who was blue-eyed. She was so stupid. She was always copying off of my papers. These people were so rude and so noisy today, we couldn't hear ourselves even talk. It was ridiculous.
Eventually, the audience figured out the show was really about race. Now, he was so angry, he took off his collar way on early.
How many of you people of color can take off the collar that we have put on you? How many of you can take off your color? But if a black male refused to follow your orders, or your husband's orders, or your father's orders on the street, you would not see that as being highly principled. You would see him as being an uppity nigger.
Well, we can see where this is going. She's saying that everybody has racism in them. It's not really about the eye. She's trying to teach about racism. But she can't get away from the fact that God created the races, and you are going to be different. You can't help it.
God
to be like
created
that.
one race, the human race, and human beings created racism.
We caught up with the mastermind behind the eye color test. Jane Elliott is her name, 22 years later.
I loved teaching. I started the blue-eyed, brown-eyed exercise because Martin Luther King Jr. had been one of our heroes of the month in February in my 3rd grade classroom, and he was dead at the hands of an assassin. I hate to talk about this because every time I talk about it, I remember how it felt that day. I was going to have to go into my classroom and explain to my students why the adults in this country had allowed somebody to kill hope, because Martin Luther King, for me, was hope for this country. I decided that the next day I was going to do what Hitler did. I was going to pick out a group of people on the basis of a physical characteristic over which they had no control, separate them according to the color of their eyes, treat one group badly and treat the other group very well, and see what would happen. Eye color and skin color are caused by the same chemical, melanin. There is no logic in judging people by the amount of a chemical in their skin. Pigmentation should have nothing to do with how you treat another person, but unfortunately it does. Give me a child at the age of 8, let me do that exercise, and that child is changed forever.
Give me a child at the age of 8 and let me do that exercise, and that child is changed forever. I can't watch that without tearing up. It's so powerful. So powerful stuff. So powerful. She had just been teaching in February of that year that Martin Luther King was their hero of the month. And then he was murdered. And how did she explain to those children that people hated him for the color of his skin? Dr. Holmes teaches us that self-awareness is the act of analyzing oneself. Look into your own past and find out what you're afraid of and convince the mentality that there is nothing to fear. And all this month, we're talking about taking that self-awareness and putting it into action, inclusion in action. Because when we become more self-aware, there's a much greater opportunity for healing, for experiencing our genuine truth, for claiming our beauty and our power, and for becoming aware of our subconscious biases so that we can understand how they play into our beliefs and our behavior. Healing cannot happen without honest inquiry into ourselves, without us examining. Charles says, whatever we learn as children before we're capable of critical thinking stays with us until we consciously confront it. Isn't that the truth? Karen Mitchell says, we did that exercise in my junior high school. It was so profound. I imagine. I honor Jane Elliott so deeply for her bravery, for her willingness to stand up for what she thinks is right for all of us. Healing cannot happen without that honest inquiry. And when we're willing to do this, it's an important step in becoming aware of others too, and ultimately loving people well for exactly who they are. Loving people well for who they are. And of love, of course, Dr. Holmes teaches us that love is the self-givingness of the Spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Emerson tells us that love is a synonym for God. Love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. You know, I've often used that last sentence, you know, love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible in weddings and funerals, because it's just one of the greatest lines that Dr. Holmes ever wrote. But it also talks about our loving each other for who we really are. And so who are we? That's the question that we're asking this week. Who are we? Well, I think we are love in action. Love in action. Susie says, I wish I had the opportunity to grow up with diversity. I know, wouldn't we all have a different experience today if we... Oh, Karen says, in my wedding. You're right. I did use that line in your wedding when I married you and Kevin. Yes. We're love in action. And we need to be love in action. Did I put the... I put myself in the wrong spot here. We are love in action. There we are. And because the truth of who we are is that God in each of us as us is us. God expressing in each of us as us is us. So it's 11 o'clock. Wow. And our backronym for this week is ACTION. I accept that the Christ is the true I am of our nature. The Christ, the anointed, is the true I am of our nature for each of us. For each of us. And when we can accept the Christ as the true I am of our nature for each of us, and that self-examination helps us to love ourselves and others as God. You know, I go back all the way to what Jesus said. You know, I have a new command to give you. Love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. So again, our affirmation for this week is, I bravely heal my bias and embrace the love of all human beings. Let's say that together. I bravely heal my bias and embrace the love of all human beings. Eleanor says, not Jesus Christ. No, the Christ is the Christ consciousness. Let's go back to our backronym. I accept that the Christ consciousness is the true I am of our nature. I accept that the Christ is the true I am of our nature. Eleanor says, but Eleanor the Christ and Doug the Christ. Yes. Anointing each of us with the knowledge of our own divinity. That's what we're talking about. I bravely heal my bias and embrace the love of all human beings. It's funny because, when I do the backronym, I have to try and stick to the letters in the word. So I do my best. And Dr. Holmes teaches us our experience here on planet Earth is perfect God, perfect human, perfect being. And that is part of our vision for the year, our 2020 vision, one life in focus. And speaking of focus, I got new glasses. What do you think? What do you think of my new glasses? I'm still kind of getting used to them, but they're kind of see-through. You can see through them to my face. I hope that is clear. I want to thank everybody who continues to tithe and continues to contribute to the center. You can do it through our Give Plus mobile app, of course. You can go to our website and scroll down the bottom of our website and click on the donate button. And of course, you can also go to our mailing address, 18575 Corwin Road, Apple Valley, California, 92307. Our website, of course, is high-desertcsl.org. And I want to say, last Sunday we had a very successful, Tanya loves my glasses. Eleanor likes my glasses. Karen says super cool. Karen Mitchell has spent her professional career working in an eye doctor's office, so she knows good glasses. So, what was I going to say? I forget what I was going to say because you guys were texting. We had our membership meeting last Sunday, and we successfully used the polling feature in Zoom to vote on our budget. It worked out great. So awesome. Anyway, I think it's time for us to do our giving affirmation. So let's say this together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And I try to always remember when I'm doing any kind of a transaction, I bless this gift in faith, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. So, Tanya says, this was a great service. You know how much I love hearing Jesus' name. Yes, I do, Tanya. Tanya and I have been friends for like 40 years. So I invite us all to take a breath. Let's sing together. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. I know that the infinite indwelling Spirit blesses us and protects us. I know that Spirit is kind and gracious through us in every moment of our life. And I know that Spirit shines its light and its face upon us and is our peace. And so it is. Amen. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. Life is good, and so it is. Life is good, and so it is. So, did I forget to put up the Zoom info? I think I did. I think I forgot to put up the Zoom info. So let me go ahead and grab it here, which means I got to go into a folder. Hold on for a second. Today's folder, eCam, Zoom. There it is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and drag it right here. There it is. Here's our Zoom info for our meeting. I'm going to, let me go picture in picture here. Go, there's that picture, and we'll switch to that picture. There I am. Okay, so here's the info for our Zoom meeting for today. The meeting ID is 863. If that was the only glitch of all the slides I had to put back together for a solid hour this morning, I'll take it. The meeting ID is 863-0974-7286, and the password is HDCSL. Of course, you can also call in at 669-900-6893. And so we'll have some fellowship on Zoom right after service. And I will see you then. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, everybody. I love you. I bless you. Remember, Mondays are my days off. So if I don't get back to you quickly on a Monday, it's because I'm having a day off. So I love you. I bless you. All is well.